Welcome to Really Cool Stuff for the Home podcast, sponsored by HomeWorks. And now with today's show on all the ways to improve your home is your host, Denise Sanchez.
Hi, this is Denise at HomeWorks, Really Cool Stuff for the Home. And once again, I want to talk about my event at KBIS this year in the winter. And while I was at the Kitchen and Bath Show, I was walking up to this amazing gourmet coffee shop. I saw all these people jam-packed in this amazing gourmet coffee shop until I realized it was Miele's booth, and they were distributing coffee. And I have one of the most amazing, the most amazing person in the whole wide world that knows all about Miele, Jeff Polucci. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm good, Denise. It's great to be with you again.
Thank you so much for taking some time. I know you have a busy day. You're giving lectures in between, so I feel so privileged that I snagged you on here. But when I noticed that it was Miele's booth and they were showcasing all their new coffee machines, we've been selling their Miele coffee machines since the late 1990s. They were awesome.
Yeah.
They were totally different animals now. And I want you to talk about some of the neatest, coolest features that they have now on the new Miele coffee machines.
Okay, so at that booth that you so beautifully described, we were launching the new CVA 7000 series of coffee systems, and they are completely overhauled from the old generation. And one of the most impressive parts of the new platform for the built-in coffee systems is their ability to hold up to 3 different beans at the same time and make 3 different kinds of coffee, and yet not mix even a single grind from one bean to the next. So I can go from an espresso bean in the morning to, say, a latte bean mid-afternoon to even a decaf bean in the evening, and yet not mix one bean with the other beans. It's called CoffeeSelect, and it's unique to our Miele systems.
You know, I have one coming in for myself. I have, my house is 26 years old, so I don't have the built-in. I have the countertop, which I love. Yeah. But my son comes over often, and he likes the espresso, and I like the Arabica bean. But in the evening, it would sure be nice to have a real bean, and it would be decaf. So I can't wait till mine arrives. I'm just so anxious about it.
Absolutely.
But also, too, there is another neat thing that is pretty darn cool. I told you I have the countertop version, which is just like the built-in version. It gives you the same quality coffee, just not built in, it's on my countertop. Right. But I'm a last-minute Jane. And my coffee machine will tell me when to empty the trash, when to add water, when to descale, when to degrease, when to add beans. I mean, it's so smart. It tells me to do everything. But it gives you also a countdown of 50 cups. It lets you know with a warning, 50 cups and you need to descale. And then it's 49, 48. Well, you know me, I wait till it locks me out. So talk about this newest, coolest feature that they have, which I think is incredible.
Yes, what you're referring to is the automatic descale feature. It's on the new built-ins. It's also on the countertop versions. And basically what the machine does is it goes through kind of a miniature descale, an abbreviated descale, every day, once a day, when you tell it to. So in other words, excuse me, if you set it up for, say, 2 a.m., so whenever you're not going to be at the machine, you tell it at 2 a.m. every day, I want you to go through a descale. Now, what's interesting is that there's a cartridge that you're aware of, right? Mm-hmm, right. There's a cartridge that you put inside the machine, and inside that cartridge there is an amount of descaling solution. It's actually the same material that you have in the tablets, that you put the tablets in for the full descale, except it's made to dissolve in a solution over a long period of time. And the unit will go through its descale. It's a miniature descale, but it goes through a descale at that time every day. And then that cartridge can last up to a year or longer. And it tells you when to change the cartridge out. But basically, you don't have to go through a full descale sometimes at all. But usually it's about every 2 years you'll have to go through and put those tablets in and do a full descale. Mm-hmm. The new system actually is driven by sensors, not by a counter. So as a result of that, it's looking at the type of coffee you drink or make, whether or not it includes milk. It looks at the type of beans you use, how many cups you make, how hard your water is, and it will determine whether or not it needs to go through that descale cycle that day. So, for example, it would be foolish to have the machine go through that automatic cycle if you're not even there. Right? What if you're on vacation, right? So it won't descale if you don't use it. Also, if you're just making, say, coffee, black coffees, you're not using milk, and your water is relatively soft, it may also decide on Tuesday morning that it doesn't need to descale that day. That's why the cartridges can last so incredibly long, because it descales on an as-needed basis, not just blindly every day. So it's a very, very advanced system. Certainly easy, too.
Yes, it makes it a no-brainer for last-minute Janes like me.
Yes.
Also, too, you can also plumb the machines now if you want to, which I think is really neat. That way, and I love how big the carafes are for the water. They're huge.
Yeah, it's bigger now. Yep.
They were okay before. I never realized how nice it would be to have a big carafe, to hold the water, because you can do 1 cup, 2 cups at a time, or even 8 cups, which is a pot of coffee. So
that's right. It's got a coffee pot function. That's right.
And then there's also this new feature about all these different types of brewing teas that it does. I don't really understand that. Can you explain that?
Sure. So the tea functions are really, they are built into the electronics so that the electronics knows if you choose black tea, green tea, regular tea, whatever kind of tea it is, it's going to know exactly what the brew time is and the steeping time is. And let me change that, brew temperature and steeping time. So if you pick a green tea, for example, it's going to know exactly what temperature that is supposed to be produced at, because each tea's got its own temperature, right? And then it will count down the steeping time. This is very important because even if you have the right temperature water, if the tea it does not steep for the right amount of time, you're not going to extract that flavor from those leaves. Now, just to clarify, you're not putting tea leaves in the machine.
Right.
You're putting tea leaves in the cup, in whatever vessel you've got them in. Put that in the cup, put the cup under the dispenser, draw to the right tea, and then hit that, and it will make it at the right temperature, count down the steeping time, and it will even allow you to make another cup of coffee while it's counting down the steeping time. And there are 6 kinds of tea in the new machines.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. That's so smart. Once again, you know that Homeworks and Miele, we can deliver really cool stuff for the home. So come visit us and see the new coffee systems. I have it live in our showroom, and it's quite amazing. They're beautiful. There's different colors, different aesthetics, different electronics. You can get a plum, non-plum, different price points. You got to see it to really appreciate it. Homeworks, really cool stuff for the home. Well, we'll make your homework better for you, or go to MieleUSA.com and kind of check them out. Thanks, Jeff. We'll see you again real soon.
Thank you, Denise.